What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Chris, as always with me.
Sad over this episode, Liam.
Sir, are you confused today? Do you not know who you are?
Yeah, let's think of a way to say it.
I got caught him off guard, guys. Well, welcome back. Really excited to dive into another episode here today. Have a discussion with you guys. We are reviewing Silo Season 2, Episode 8, Apple TV. I thought this one was a good one. Liam was disappointed. Let us know what you thought in the comments. We're going to dive in. What was up?
It felt too slow.
Okay, the slow burn.
Yeah, that was extremely disappointing. And fucking Walker. Poor Walker. She's like everyone's grandma. And I guess we'll get into it more as we get to that point, huh?
I had a feeling, and we discussed it, in a previous episode the last episode when she turns the camera on, that she made a big mistake. Made an emotional choice that was going to come back to bite her. And we absolutely saw that come true in this episode, as Bernard just put her into servitude, basically. And she really gets nothing in return, right? He's basically leveraging torture of the person she loves as what she wins if she does the thing. Like, we won't torture her anymore, we promise.
Yeah. But we were also right that because they brought up the whole Benz thing, Juliette has Benz.
Oh, yeah. She was ready to go find where Solo ended up and makes it like, one level up, and all of a sudden can't use her leg and realizes, oh shit, that thing he was talking about's got me, and immediately goes down and does exactly what he says to her in the previous episode to do. So always told you, man, his purpose in this season is to be the guy with the information.
But is he alive or is he dead?
Ooh, good question. I think he's still alive.
I think so too.
I also, since we're going there, I also think it's really crazy, the reveal of who the, hostile members of the Silo were, or, current member of Silo 17 might not actually even come from Silo 17, and they're kids.
And they're tribal.
Yeah.
They're very tribal.
There's a bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Where have we seen bow and arrows in the Silo before?
We haven't.
So is she from the Wasteland?
Or is she just from another silo and had access to someone with the legacy information?
Oh, so you think the bow may come from inside the legacy?
It could be both.
See, I was going down the path of she comes from a Wasteland tribe, like people who have figured out how to live like on Earth. And she's in the silo trying to recover something, medicine, whatever it is, because they know they're in the silo, right? And then that's why they're trying to get into the legacy of this silo, because they know whatever resource their tribe needs, they're trying to get. But that's where I was going with that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you think that these mystery people who have either maybe killed Solo or maybe not, where do they come from? Are they silo dwellers? Are they Wasteland tribes? What are they?
Yeah, and I thought previous episodes, I suggested that it could be people from the outside as well, but I don't know. I watched a movie over the weekend, and it completely fucked up my confidence in how it's going to turn out.
We got to back up a second here. You watched a movie unrelated to the TV series that we are currently watching.
Yes.
And your brain is saying that because of the events that happened inside of this movie, they're going to directly correlate to something happening in the silo?
No, it's causing doubts in my brain because I was so sure of how it was going to turn out.
So you're doubting your ability to
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yes. Right now, that movie completely...
What was the movie?
It was Slingshot or something like that with Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay.
Brand new movie just came out on Amazon, and I watched it, and it's just a complete mind fuck. Like, you think everything's real, and then they suggest that things are fake, and then they suggest things are real, and back and forth, and it fucks with your brain. And it was so good. But anyway, that is why I'm doubting myself with this episode, because I literally just watched that 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
So, still a little doubt there from that movie based on what I was accurately able to predict in that movie. So, it's screwing me up here. So, I like how Sims's wife
The real power.
Yes. Got that little talk to get Sims the information.
Did Sims put her up to it, or did she
No.
just do that because she's playing 4D chess and everyone else is playing 3D?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's her.
That's what I thought too.
It's her because Sims was puzzled and also visibly irritated when he found out, please don't send your watchdog wife after me just to give you information or something like that. And you could see it on Sims's face that he was visibly shocked and surprised and kind of pissed off. Yeah. Also happy.
Yeah, let's talk about Sims a little bit. He's losing control, but more so than we thought he had. Like, I thought he had like a network of sleepers and he was like almost secretly like having a rebellion himself, right? Where he had like his own troops. But it turns out a lot of his control, a lot of his power came from his position. And now that he doesn't have it anymore, not everyone is as loyal to him as he thought. And he's starting to see that. That's interesting to me.
And he doubts Bernard as well, because he even mentions to the dude, like, look, I was 100% sure that I knew where Bernard was going with this, and just watch your back. Like, I got burned.
Yeah.
He will drop you anytime he doesn't need you.
He legit killed the only woman he cared about.
Yep.
To like ensure the future and his position or the control and safety of the silo, right? And Sims is very aware of that, right? Because he also helped stage the murder cover up for it. So if he is willing to do that to the one person he cared about, what is he willing to do to everybody else?
Oh, and Bernard also confirmed the whole drug in the water thing again.
Yeah, finally got confirmation on that. That was awesome. So it turns out Salvador Quinn also. Let's back it up just a second. So I was under the impression that they had these like rebellions every generation, right? Like every, 50 to 100 years. Turns out it was actually every 20 years that they were having these rebellions. And Salvador Quinn is the one who basically, by putting these drugs in the water supply, by erasing history, was able to like squash the rebellions and give them this time of peace that we have seen, which I thought was like really interesting and like really gave us some concrete proof of what we were like theorizing around, not necessarily as accurately as they laid it out for us, but we were getting close, which I think is really cool. That now we know that it was intentional, why they did it. It was actually to like stop the rebellions, to stop the manslaughter, to stop the ability for 10,000 people to die when they open the airlock.
To save lives.
Yes. Crazy.
He also revealed that Salvador, I keep wanting to say Salvador Dali.
That's a real person.
I know.
Salvador Quinn.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say that though. But Salvador Quinn is the hero, but everyone thinks he's the villain.
Right. He was portrayed to be the villain even though he was the hero.
Yes.
Yes.
So because they can't let that information out because that would undo what he actually did.
Yeah.
So his family and his descendants are all shamed right now.
Yeah.
So Lucas is searching for the book that's the key for the code and cipher, right? So he's going around, he goes down there. He also finds out the judge has been to that family too, looking for these books.
That was the main clue that really helped him.
Yes.
We also got some more insight on when the judge disappeared, where'd she go? She was diving deep into these clues. She was figuring these things out. She was down in the down deep, asking questions and prying around and getting the answers and solving the code.
Do you think she solved the code?
Well, I think that she broke the cipher and she knows what it says. And that's what made her decide she doesn't want to play the game. Because the very first line, now we don't have the whole thing deciphered yet. We only get the first line, right, in this episode. And it says, basically, if you've come this far, you basically know this whole thing is rigged. Like, the game is already rigged. You're not going to win. And so, at least that's how I'm interpreting it right now.
So you think it was soul crushing for the judge and that's why she just became this recluse?
I think that much like the vaults of Fallout, that there is a sinister overbodying government organization, cloak and dagger, whatever you want to call it, really running these things.
So a cabal.
Yeah. And then those people ultimately, I think, are going to be like the big bad that we really do see. And that these silos are just like their testing grounds or their experiments or their like ways of keeping that control or keeping a society that they can control. And she figured out that information, right? So she didn't want anything to do with being a part of that system. So that's why she says, no, I'm not going to be a shadow anymore. Again, this is all just a theory I'm making up as I'm watching the show. This is what I'm thinking to myself, that that's why she turns on the shadow and just becomes the mayor and basically just starts drinking herself into
The fear.
Yeah. Because she has this reality now that no matter what she does, even if she got control of this silo, it's not for the betterment of anything. It's actually already being controlled by, you're a puppet, basically, right? And so that's also why she wants out. Ultimately, the only thing she wanted, the only thing that she could use, or you could leverage to bribe her or get her to do anything, was with the giving her permission to go out into the wasteland and figure it out for herself. So there's something going on, and it's on that code, and I think that's what it is. Let us know what you guys think in the comments. Am I right? Am I wrong?
You'll definitely let us know.
Again, huge theory. Have never read the books. I'm definitely going to read them after we're all done. I don't want to ruin anything for our discussions. I'm enjoying going through this process with you. But based on the show, books are always better, and I'm sure these books are great.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's been a long time since I read them, and I've even recommended this book to you in the past before the show came out. Yeah. So
how many books we recommend to each other in like a month? It's well, at least we did before we started doing this. Now it's TV shows all the time, but yeah, yeah. Let's review Silo 17, because we really didn't get much but a couple of little flashbacks of what's happening and keeping us up to speed on that, right? So we could just kind of put a bow on that right now. We obviously have, we talked about a little bit earlier, so that's what I'm saying, obviously. Jules comes up with the bends, right? We figure that out. She figures that out. She has to go back down. She either runs out of air or something else malfunctions. She's like tugging on it, doesn't really want to work, it's not doing it, so she comes
probably
back up.
Ink or something.
Yeah, something happens, whatever it might be, stops working. She has to come up.
The innocent kind of kink, not the other kind.
I think that both of them could be innocent. Dark kinks, light kinks.
Okay.
In the gray, fair enough. Okay, back to the show.
She comes up, she starts looking around, and she gets shot with a fucking arrow.
Woo, yeah. Now I was like right there. I was like, oh wait, yeah, okay, it didn't hit her heart. Like I'm like, damn, because it catches her pretty low, but in the shoulder.
It's in the shoulder.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It does catch her low in the shoulder, and I was like, damn. I'm like, okay, nothing vital, just gonna be through the shoulder.
It was pretty close where it could have been lung puncture too, though.
Yeah.
In my mind, anyway. But she kind of just beast mode, rips that shit out, and then searching around, she ends up coming with a shield and some kind of makeshift hammer mallet thing that she's using.
Yeah.
Or bat, because there was no head at the end, but baton, I don't know. And she starts creeping around like she's in the jungle about to fight the predator.
She doesn't know what she's fighting, so she might as well, right?
Yeah. Starts creeping around, and then she comes across. I thought that was going to be Solo that she was creeping up to.
I think we were meant to think that, because I think, yeah.
And it turns out that it was just a woman.
It was one of the survivors, we'll call them for now. Yeah.
And then it runs in the conversation. Others come out. All of them were women, right?
No, there's a male.
There was a male?
Because it's a male's voice and a male in armor, and then when you come around the stairs, it's a male and a female, and the female has the bow and arrow. So there's one.
I shot you once.
Yeah, there's like an older looking teen male, and then an older looking teen female, and then a much younger looking female, which is the one that she's bastard with the shield and the helmet comes off.
Yeah, you might be right about the tribal thing specifically, because they were fucking aggressive to her.
And they were coordinated, unlike most children. Well, I guess Silo's a little bit different than what I would think in regular society, but yeah.
But they were just straight up kill first, ask questions later kind of situation. So what was their experiences that led them to have that as their natural response?
Well,
It wasn't like they were scared.
no, yeah. They
were confident.
Yeah, they were standing their ground, for sure. That's another reason why I lean more towards like Wasteland Wanderer, yeah, because they're dealing with maybe mutated fauna or just mutated anything, creatures on the earth, whether it's flora or fauna, could be plant or animal. And so maybe they're, constantly on guard, constantly have to defend themselves, like going back to the caveman days where you're on a swivel because a saber-toothed tiger is going to bite the back of your neck, right? And so you're confident, you're ready to kill at all times, you're very instinctual, you stand your ground. I think that's more like it, because you don't see anything like that in a Silo person. Even your enforcers, you don't see that level of like confidence.
Well, they're peacetime warriors.
Fair enough, yeah. They're more militia police than they are actual like army.
Because they, as they mentioned, they had 100 years of essential peace.
Yeah. Inside Silo 18.
Which means every one of those enforcers, raiders, all them have minimal experience with this kind of thing.
Yeah, that absolutely makes sense. Yeah, they've never actually dealt with a real conflict. Anybody that's alive right now.
So
I think that this is, we're watching a lot of moving pieces behind the scenes and we're getting a lot of answers, right? Last episode, we finally got to see the legacy. This episode, we're starting to see Lucas Kyle break it all down, go through everything, every possible avenue to decipher just to get the first discouraging sentence of the actual code. We thought that maybe Bernard was falling apart and coming undone, but what I'm actually seeing is a reverse of that now, where he's becoming just more ruthless for sure, but he's got a plan. He's definitely got a plan. He's thinking ahead. He knows what he needs to do. I think he's just starting to lose that facade that he had in season 1, where he was this nice guy, and he's just getting down to brass tacks. He's losing that humanity piece of him that I think the judge kept alive, because we had talked about maybe him killing the judge would be the downward fall of him. I think it was his death of his humanity. And you're starting to see him become much more ruthless, more open about it.
More Vulcan.
Less emotion.
Yes. So do you think Walker is, well, we know she's going to be put into a position real soon where she's going to have to make the hard choice of.
She already did. She already ratted out what was his name? Not Cooper. Cooper's the one that got killed. Shoot. The other guy from Supply ratted out his team. Yeah.
Rat those team out, but I feel like she's going to have a bigger one that's not as easy to do in the moment.
You think she's going to go through with it?
That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you think she's willing to give up their lives knowing that they will all die?
Look how devastating it was for her just to give up that one team. Well, the first thing she did was come down and pour herself a drink. She's already starting a downward spiral. She already can't handle the guilt and shame from doing that one thing. First question she asked Shirley, anyone die? Because I guarantee if someone had died, she would have broke. And she's right on that level where it's basically Carla's life or someone else's life. And so I think that's going to be one of the pivotal moments for that character's arc and Walker's character, is whether she decides to choose basically an old love, something that she's not currently even connected to. They're not married anymore. They don't even live on the same level. They don't live in the same house. Or is she going to stick to that love and actually give up the people who are in her house she sees every day? She's raised most of them, right? I don't think she will. I think ultimately she would, and I don't think Carla would want her to. And I think she knows that. Because when they were sitting in jail together, Carla called her stupid for wanting to risk her life for an old lady.
Yes.
And then she was like, well, I'm old too. Let's just sit here together.
I was surprised that she gave her up the way she did when she went up and met with Bernard.
Yeah.
I was really surprised by that because we already know that she doesn't want her to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. I don't know why.
And I am having less and less confidence of Jules and Solo making it back to the silo.
I think you were correct that we are going to have Jules leaving a silo to the other silo being the finale. Jules leaving a silo is going to be our season finale. This is going forward. So yeah, I think she's going to be in conflict, learning about these people all through episode 9.
I just really want to see Bernard's face with her showing up.
Yeah.
That would make me happy for it to close out that way. But I am feeling less and less confident that we're going to get to see that. Feel like it's just going to be and we're all marching together. The Outsiders, Solo, and Jules. And they just all leave the silo together to get to the other one. The Outsiders may become the safe passage, teaching them how they can get there, possibly without suits.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that they're going to give her the knowledge she needs to wander the wasteland and avoid the poison gas, avoid the pitfalls of I would kill her right away and be able to actually give her a chance out there. I also think she's going to find a soup. But here's the thing. You don't watch the next on trailers for, okay, so I'm not going to say anything.
So the tunnels are flooded for a reason because they're connected so that warriors can go through.
There's some sort of, maybe it's a SEAL team can go through them, because they're underwater.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the baddies or the outside people didn't really show up until she started fucking with a pump. Is that why they see Jules as such a threat? Because they don't want that passage opened up.
Well, if they saw Jules as a threat, they would have just killed her, I think. I think
It started that way, though.
I think they're keeping her alive to leverage her as a way to get Solo to give them the information, maybe the keypad or whatever they need to get in. Yeah, they can't kill her. She's too valuable. If they just thought she was a threat, like she was the pump, doing something with the pump was going to affect what they were doing, they'd just kill her.
But they still didn't intervene until she started fucking with the pump.
I think from episode 2, we've been getting hints with the way the camera kind of like looks from far away, like almost like they're on another level looking down. I think we've been getting hints they've been being watched. And they waited until Jules went under and was under for a long enough period of time that he was alone and distracted that they were able to ambush him. That's what I'm thinking. It was strategic timing because Solo was a target and Jules is clearly a fighter. She's clearly smart. And they didn't want anything to do with that. So they waited. And they ultimately, I think they tried to kill her too. I think that's why they cut the hose. They thought they would kill her.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I think episode 9, we're going to see these, I don't know what to call them, just survivors, I'm going to call them for now, play a pivotal role in information. And ultimately, Jules is going to get access to the legacy. And she's going to figure out valuable information that she gets to either keep to herself or share with her silo. But we will see her leave Silo 17, I believe, in the finale of this season, like you had predicted.
They be the other kids from Solo's class.
Not old enough. Solo's way older than them. They're younger than that.
Or the kids of those kids.
Could be. But no, because, see, my theory is that Solo was a kid when all that went down, right? He was actually in the class. That's why he knew the little girl.
Yeah.
And so my theory is that Solo is probably 40, mid-40s, right? Somewhere in that area of age, where these people who are coming in are 20 max, the older guy, the older teen-looking gentleman with them. So the age gap leads me to believe that the only connection is they want something from him that he was hiding in the vault. And that's why they said, we will get in eventually. And originally there was 5 of them. And that's what those 2 new fresher bodies are, were people that they came there with.
Okay.
Those are my theories. All right, guys, if you really enjoyed this episode, we actually reviewed all of this season so far. You can check it out right here. We also just wrapped up another amazing sci-fi series, as well as many others. You can check out some playlists for them right here, as well as some other stuff that you may really like above my head here. And then also don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell. Also hit like on this video for us if you enjoyed it. And don't forget, this is a discussion. Go ahead and put your theories down in the comments. My name's Chris. As always, Liam. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.
Find the strength hiding in each battle scar. You're not who you were. You've already come far.